Hi, everyone. Welcome to ILO on Location, the podcast where I, Irene and Kerrisdale, go live on location and sit down with some of my amazing, fabulous friends. And today, I'm sitting down in the incredible Kerrisdale in the home of the wonderful and beautiful Miss Stevie Mitchell. Hi, Stevie. Welcome to ILO on Location, the podcast.
Hello, hello.
Stevie is one of my very dear friends, bestie friends' moms. And as I do season 4, as we all know, Ready for More, I'm focusing on ILO Wellness series. And what wellness means to me for this year, 2025, Let's Thrive, is how we all keep a healthy mind and spirit at all ages with all things coming at us in life. So today I have the amazing Stevie Mitchell. Stevie is an epic queen, senior diva, single mother, retired from her career as a journalist, and executive director for Endeavour Society, which benefited the arts, sciences, and health. She's a grandmother to her beautiful grandchildren. She's an independent woman, and she's a friend. She's a friend not only to her family, her children, but also to the other women in her life. In particular, she's a very special dear friend who is hopefully going to do our season closure of ILO on Location, season 4. So Stevie, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I thought what we would do today is we would take a little trip down memory lane. Let's just talk about your career first. Tell me a little bit about your history.
Well, I'm going to start at the very beginning.
Okay.
In about 2 words or less. Born in Alberta.
Thank you.
Sent out to Vancouver to boarding school. Went to university. Got married. Far too young. Had 2 children. And I had a friend, I still have him, who at that point in time owned an advertising agency. And so I went to work for he and his colleagues, and then he went into the newspaper business, and I went to work for him. He's my work boyfriend, I guess.
Yes.
And, that was really terrific fun. The paper was shutting down because nobody reads anymore. And I had been on the board of Endeavour, and we just couldn't find the right person to run the thing. And so it fell to me, which was amazing. Lots of fun. We raised a lot of money over the years. Sadly, we were imitated all the time. It was founded on wonderful principles, and everybody sort of had started developing the formula on their own, and it wasn't viable anymore. So we shut that down, and here I am.
And for me, where I benefit in that, thank you very much, is I got to be your diamond model at Endeavour, because as being one of Alex's best friends and you needing volunteers, I remember that event being glamorous and gorgeous and everybody was dolled up, and I got to be walk around and raise money as your diamond model. So I thank you for that opportunity.
Oh, any old time. If there's anybody that's up for bling, I know it's you.
I know it's me. Amazing. Okay, so Stevie, did you work in your journalistic career and Endeavour until the age of 65, where one would normally retire, or did you retire early, or did you work past the normal age of retirement? Like my mom, she didn't retire; she volunteered up to 73 because it kept her, in my opinion, a healthy mind and spirit.
I think I worked till I was, physically going into an office till I was 70, 71. And then my dear sister-in-law ran a variety of foundations, and so I would help her out part-time every now and then. So I probably worked till I was about 74, but it gets you out of bed.
It does. It gets you out of bed. It gets you connected with people. And sometimes I feel like people don't really want to retire and aren't necessarily ready to retire mentally, because 65 is still so young.
Well, for some 65 or whatever the retirement age might be, and whatever, it's a goal. It goes by in a flash.
Right.
And suddenly I know a lot of people that just sort of sit at home.
Yeah.
They don't volunteer. They don't do jigsaw puzzles. They read. They don't do lunch and fun things like that. Mm-hmm. And, health bells, you're not dead yet.
Right. Thank you. I mean, I feel like that's, again, an example of just keeping life going, because it can have its challenges. It does have its ups and downs, but by having your day or your week, if you're fortunate enough to fill it with activities, keeps you feeling fresh and young and vibrant.
Oh, God, yeah. And I mean, I would like to be involved with my older grandchildren who live in Toronto. They're wonderful when I see them. And, of course, my one grandchild here, I'm pretty involved with him. Mm-hmm. And it's great. I mean, there is some truth to you get to enjoy your grandchildren. Not that I didn't enjoy my children. They had quite the upbringing with some of the friends I had. But they've turned out all right.
Yeah, they sure have. They sure have. We love them. Thank you. We're going to talk about your children shortly. So when you look back, can you remember sort of your 50 to sort of 60, or in your case, 70. Do you remember that time frame at all changing? And I'm mostly talking about career and independently, not so much family yet at this point.
I think I became smarter the older I got.
Okay.
Like, I didn't know anything when I was, I don't know, in phase 1, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The young women I know, like such as yourself and, you know, my daughter's friends.
Yes.
They're amazing because they really have carved their own lives, but more importantly, I think their own opinions and, you know, following a path rather than following a path sort of set for them. You know, I mean, I always remember my father saying to me, why don't you get a nice government job with a pension? Well, really?
Right.
That's not me.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe he was right the way things are going. I don't know.
Right.
But that wasn't ever going to happen.
So you were always sort of keeping your trajectory of what suited you authentically. So you were making choices on your own, career, work-wise, that serviced you.
Yeah, or else opportunities just sort of fell into my lap for which other people thought I was suited, and it worked out.
Was there a conscious choice to staying working? Was that something you were really excited about?
And I mean, I needed to. I did. I needed to. I needed to be financially independent, and hello, under the Burrard Bridge looks homey.
Right.
You know.
Right. And then you're like, oh, yeah, well, to retire is expensive.
Oh, God, I'll say.
Was there anything that you look back upon that you could have or would have done differently if you were, say, to prepare or offer advice?
No, because there's things I have no regrets, but there's things I would do differently. And, you know, paid a lot more attention to my education rather than playing bridge for 2.5 years at UBC. So,
yes.
You know, stuff like that.
Right.
But then again, I would have been on a different path completely, which was, you know, I loved the social aspect of journalism and Endeavour. And earlier on, I'd worked in the stock market, and you meet just so many different people, which I really like.
Yeah.
So things were so different. You know, I tried, in fairness, staying home when my son was born, and I thought, geez, I can't stand this. I gotta go to work.
Right.
But that's fine. I have lots of friends that have never worked a day in their life and are perfectly content. And
yeah, I mean, as you said, you had the need, but also the desire. And then when you say, I look back and you have no regrets, I think that's a real special thing for anybody to say, especially as we age up. How do you know in the moment? Did you focus like, I'm just going to go with this opportunity that landed in my lap because it's here and I don't want to regret not trying? Or do you just look back on life and go, gosh, I was really lucky. I made good decisions. I don't have any regrets.
It was a bit of both, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, anything that came close to a regret was more an emotional reaction, and as opposed to a real regret. Like I've never sat around thinking, "Oh God, I really regret I didn't do this," or you know. Obviously, over the years, you develop emotional baggage a bit, and you got to get rid of that. And you know, I used to, God, this sounds like a soap opera.
No.
But I used to have this thing that I called it my pain box. And I had it well, I still have it. But anyway, if something had really bothered me, or I'd received a letter that I found very upsetting, or God knows what, or a picture of something that didn't work out, or whatever, I'd put it in the pain box. And then gradually, as I got older, I mean, I didn't fondle my pain box every night.
Right.
But I'd look in there and go, what the hell am I even hanging on to this for? And now the thing's empty.
A physical box, like a memory box?
Yeah.
And you titled it a pain box and
just mentally.
Yeah, mentally. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have pain written
No, but it was a way to compartmentalize or...
Well, just put that away and live and do what you got to do.
Yes.
And don't, I mean, everybody's had disappointments.
Of course.
But I know people whose life path didn't quite turn out the way they thought. Well,
right.
Whose did?
Right.
Whose does?
Yes.
But they dwell on it.
Right.
And there's no point in that because it's not going to be, honey.
That's right.
I
feel like 50 onward, things start to happen with friends or health or...
Yeah. And I mean, I think too, with challenges of health or whatever, as you get older, you really get to know yourself. Like, you have to dig deep sometimes.
Right.
And as you know, I've had more than one really good friend hop the twig, as they say.
Yeah.
And, it's hard because you don't think you're old enough to graduate, so to speak.
Yeah.
And hey there, you got it in you. You just have to find it.
Yeah.
No, baby, don't you? No, baby, don't you?
One of the things that I really admire about you is you have such an incredible hands-on relationship with your children. And when I mean hands-on, it's a friendship and a mothering. And I think that's really special. And I was just wondering, is that how you were raised with your mother, or did it just evolve over time?
No.
Okay. Thank you. God.
I'm an only child. I had a mother, obviously. She was anything but warm and fuzzy. I went through life really, in her mind, never being good enough. Never.
Wow.
And I thought, and then of course I had probably the Freudian dad thing because he was terrific. Anyway, I made a decision. I thought, if I ever have children, they are not ever going to be brought up the way I was. I mean, my mother had the right goals. She had the right ideas and she had her wishes, if you will. Really, they were on my behalf, good wishes, but the presentation was really bad. I mean, she wasn't probably alone in that. I don't know. But I don't know. So, I mean, I had these kids and then suddenly I was by myself with 2 kids. And I also thought, well, how do I do this?
Right.
I mean, not the every day-to-day aspect, but how the hell do you formulate 2 minds? And anyway, they were good, thank goodness. I mean, as you know, my son was really interested in sports, and Alex went through, the band, gymnastics, a few things.
Child model.
Child model. Yeah, right after we bought the trumpet, she decided she didn't want to play that, Anyway, but I always also swore, I thought, you're going to lose your temper. You're going to get mad, but you're always going to say, I'm sorry that I got mad, but the reason I got mad, so you understand, is this. And, I hope they would say things were explained to them rather than some manic mother running around all over the place screaming.
Yes.
But, which hopefully I never did that either. But, and they've been great.
Wow. So you actively remember growing up in a different dynamic and making a conscious decision that this is not at all how you were going to parent and how you wanted to have a relationship with your own children.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow. Do you see the gifts you gave them in raising them transpiring in their own families and their own homes?
Yes, I do. It's really interesting and hard to explain, but it's kind of like you can see your kids morphing into excellent parents, in my humble opinion. Both married great people, which is great.
Yes.
But they're sort of taking over now. And it's kind of, it's not weird and it's not abnormal, but, now take Poppy's arm and make sure she doesn't slip.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Anyway, but I do see that reflected, which is great. And that's how, far as I know, they parent. And I said, just always explain to your kids why they can't do something or why it's, sure. They're great kids and great grandchildren. And, as you know, I had a bit of a health scare a couple of years ago. And, then you sort of really start, Jesus, I better, tell the kids where the jewelry box is or whatever. Right. And then, you just sort of think about a lot of things. And it's interesting. I mean, I'm not ready to be in transition yet by any means. They were terrific and everything's copacetic right now. And
feeling that support and just knowing
oh, yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, I have got good support of a few really good friends.
Well, I think about the friendship dynamic, friends and family, kind of who equal one. Talk to me a little bit about friendships in your life and what those mean to you.
Well, I was 10 when I went to boarding school, and I didn't know anybody in Vancouver. I didn't know anything, and I'm plopped into the residence, and then you spend the next, I don't know, on and off all the time. Like every New Year's Eve, I spend with a gal that I went all through school with. We were at university together, and I don't see her all year. And I mean, she only lives about 4 blocks. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, I love that.
But, I do see some of them. And I think what I've learned to appreciate, and not just sort of in old school friends, but, and, why didn't I know that? I went to a funeral of a guy that I was on a board with for about 7 years. And so the brother talked about his brother. Yeah. And I thought, why didn't I know any of this? I've sat next to this guy for 7 years.
Oh, my God.
And he was amazing. So, you learn to, listen. But Mimi's mother and my mother were friends. Just like Shannon's mother and my mother were friends.
Yes. Yes.
And
Queens.
When I was brought to boarding school, I was hauled around and introduced. And I mean, in Shannon's family, like her sister Susan was older than I was. Lindy was younger. Mimi was younger. Her sisters were quite a bit older. So it wasn't really till I was probably about almost 30 before I met Mimi. Well, light a torch.
Yes.
You know what that was like.
Yes.
And I mean, great fun. And then Jean and I were at university together. I knew her husband. I never laid eyes on her until, I don't know, maybe, the kids were all at high school together. Yeah. And because Jean and I used to take the kids and go up to Savory Island in the summer, and it was just perfect. She'd stay up smoking her head off and reading her book all morning, bring down egg salad sandwiches, and we'd sit on the beach and read all afternoon. It was great. It was a very compatible party all night and do it all over again. Yeah. But the stories are endless. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times those of us who are still around, God, wouldn't Mimi love this? Yeah. Or can you imagine what she'd say or whatever? And same with Jean, But my pal Judy, I mean, I knew her more from afar. Judy's very solid. Yeah. Great gal. Thankfully for me, Judy's still here. Yes. And in much better shape than I am, I think. And it's great. Daughters are great friends, as you know. And, I mean, and really lucky. And then I've got my boyfriends. Yes. Yes. With the boys, tell them when they go on their next 30-day cruise, whether or not you like cruising. But I was like, I'm in, sign me up. So, but friendship in addition to family, that is what keeps you, filled mentally and emotionally and physically, because it keeps you active. I mean, you and your bestie, you do shit. You go, you watch TV together, you go for dinner together, you go to parties. I mean, Plunkett's 50th, you gals had your own little table in the hallway there.
having a friendship as partners and family as partners, and your mother-daughter Mother's Day routine that you gals get to do. You know, I love that. Again, like you shop, you do your lunch, all that, would you say are ways that do keep you a healthy mind and spirit?
Oh God, yeah. And I mean, we're not sitting there with our telephone book or anything. That's a thing of the past. But, you know, like we've decided we've got to get out more. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was in the middle of snowfall yesterday.
Yeah.
But so we're checking things out. Go out and go to a play, go to a movie. I mean, I can't even tell you the last movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do have wonderful old friends, old neighbors that I walk with. Well, we take 4 steps and sit down on a bench. So,
Queens.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, we're real fair weather walkers, but at least we're out there.
Yes. You know? But connection, to me, what I hear as well in regards to friendship and family, and is also being connected to people, having a connection with others. So you're not just in your own apartment on your own. So to speak.
Yeah.
I think at any age, that's key. Connecting with others. I feel like that's such a huge part of keeping a healthy mind and spirit, is just feeling a connection with someone else.
Oh God, yeah. You know, compared to my mother's generation, we're so lucky because we have intergenerational friendships. Like we're also friends with our children's friends.
Yes.
I mean, and it's not amazing to me because we're all such fabulous people, but it's possibly unique. Yeah. But I think that it's there, and I think it's really terrific.
You're so right. When you really say the intergenerational friendships and family and love, that's such a great thing to point out. And we're going to remind all the children who are coming up in our circles, ask us to come spend time with us. We want to be there. We're happy to be there. And it's like, keeps us young.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
No, baby, don't you?
I also think of Stevie, Queen Stevie. I want to talk a little bit about style, because Stevie, I'm just going to say you are a woman of style, which again, and I'm going to throw your bestie Judy and Mimi and Jean, you know, even when I see photos when we're celebrating perhaps a past life, beautiful women wearing fabulous outfits, going out and living life, and just like our Sex in the City a little bit. You gals, I feel, to some of us growing up at McGee, and I know like my friend like Ashley and Shannon, like we remember you guys, the moms, killing it and just being sassy and sexy and vibrant. You had style. So whether it's your leopard print or your bling, or you and Judy accessorize and you come to Scott's 50th looking like Diva Queens. You go for lunch with your daughters on Mother's Day. I see the photos at Highs. You queens are killing it. Do you make a conscious decision? Is style one of your friends keeping you healthy mind and spirit? Or is this just something you inherited and it's something you don't even think about? Let's talk a bit about your style.
Oh God. Out of control.
No. It's A-list.
Yeah. Oh, A-list. Well, no, I certainly didn't learn it from my mother. You know, all our mothers wore house dresses.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Although she did like nice things, but she always shopped at the same store and all the rest of it. And no, I don't know. I mean, I wrote a lot about fashion, so I saw a lot, and I thought, oh, well, that wouldn't be so bad. And I mean, for most of my life, I was overweight, I guess, which I attest to. I think it was a defense mechanism, like, don't get too close to me because I don't want to be disappointed.
Right.
And anyway, that was fun. But still, I mean, there was all kinds of things, and I really liked color. I mean, but my God, there's everything out there. There's fuchsia,
right?
You know,
yes.
And I don't know when I discovered that, but when we lived in New York, you know, that was just like walking past any store really just was, wow. Don't I look glamorous today?
You do. You look trendy and A-list. You're very Donna Karen, Barbara Streisand. Black turtleneck, black pants, a nice black accented eyeglass, and a cute pink slipper. Like, again, classic chic. It's very Barbara Streisand, Donna Karen. Absolutely. Confidence is part of style too. Like you feel confident to be in bright colors and bling. Like there's a bit of a personality to that.
Oh, God. Well, I couldn't help myself this year. I bought red cowboy boots.
Thank you. Thank you, which I remember I have a photo of those from your daughter's 50 and Fabulous birthday party. Thank you for those cowboy boots. It's a blessing and a gift for all of us. Go.
Oh, God. I love cowboy boots coming from Cowtown.
Yep.
But anyway, last year I had bought a pair of brown cowboy boots, and my friend Judy sort of thought, oh, okay. And then I think I might have said to her one day on the phone, oh gosh, I'm sort of online looking at a pair. Oh, she said, of course you're looking at them. And then, about a day later, well, she said, you bought them, didn't you? And I said, well, where do you think you're going to wear them? And well, to my daughter's 50th birthday.
Thank you. I feel like somebody stopped you on the street to take a photo with you because of those fucking boots. So bless the boots.
We were getting out of the car and we just parked, and these absolutely darling 20-somethings sort of said, you women look amazing. I mean, Judy was all
glammed
out.
She
looked great.
Yeah.
And they said, well, can we take your picture? I thought,
right.
Oh, Jesus, this is great. Hello.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so they did. They fired it back off to us. And
it was A-list. This is what I'm talking about. So this is, again, people getting out of the cab. And now I want to say, again, I don't even know what your age is, but you and Judy making an impact to this young age. That is the vivid memory that I have of you and Mimi walking up 49th when I was going to McGee with Ashley, and we would talk about you guys as queens, just being queens, carrying that style and just glam and vibrancy for years and making an impression, which I think is going to transpire to your granddaughter. Do you feel like that is sort of something that you might have influenced the younger generation, including your daughter going big or go home?
I think they could at least look at their mother and say, well, she doesn't look old. Because even in our generation, some mothers, as lovely as they were, might not have been as vibrant.
Right.
What do you say?
Colorful, vibrant. But do you think that helps keep you a healthy mind and spirit as well?
Oh,
feeling
sure. I mean, I could live in a store. I don't know. I mean, Alex has her own shtick as much as I've tried. And I haven't had a chance to get my hands on Molly much.
Right. Well, she's coming up.
Oh, yeah. She's coming up. But...
yeah. I would think like your vibrancy and colorful sense of style is something that you own and enjoy and makes you feel good. And that's what it's all about.
Oh, God, exactly. I mean, I don't dress to go out and be a lady killer. Yeah. And I mean, if people run into me in the grocery store, they'll see the real me.
Right.
Squeezing an $8 tomato or something. I mean.
No, baby, don't you?
Stevie, as we sort of wind down towards the end of our amazing episode of ILO on Location, the podcast where Irene, ILO, goes on location and sits down with the amazing women in her life, what's something, if Alex was listening to this, you would want to, I don't know, a special memory or something you're grateful about her that you just want to share on the pod?
Well, that's hard because there's a lot of greatness there. She works too hard. No, but I remember she was a really, really, really good baby. Like sleep on demand, and unlike her brother, that's the only reason I remember, oh God, lots of years at McGee when she just was sort of looking for something to do. And as I say, she was in the choir, and whatever her name was, Miss Snodgrass, phoned me and said, Stevie, I know Alex, she's been in the band, she's been in gymnastics, but, maybe the choir's not the thing for her.
oh my God, really? But but she has such a great vibrato.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Alex, did your daughter go to Mickey? Sorry, I have to keep that in. She'll get an inside joke. Oh my God, she's got such a great vibrato. Oh my God, so the choir lady was like, I'm so sorry.
I know. So as Alex likes to belt it out when
Yes,
she's feeling good enough to do that. You know, I thought, God, I wish I had this on tape. I mean, it was a really terrific teacher, but I just love it. Well, I think, whatever. Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh my God. That, Stevie, that is absolute what I like to call ILO on location gold. It's the best. Great memory. That's so funny. Okay. Tell me one about Reed. And again, I know Reed through your daughter, through McGee. Of course, he's a few years older. I know the Graham Wall, us gals thought they were all so cute and A-list, and just what's something about the Reetzer who's just a legend, like flying in for Alex's summer barbecue this summer when we were all there. I mean, how A-list was that? He just flies in and just steals the show. Like, he's such a legend. So what's a fun memory or something you can tell us about Reed that if he's listening, he'll get a kick out of?
Oh, well, I mean, he's just a all over great guy. And he's a very, he loves, I don't even know what you call them, sayings, but adages or something. You know, quitters never win and winners never quit. That was over his bed the entire time he was in university. But he lives like that. And he's got, well, both of them have just amazing outgoing personalities.
Yeah.
And you know, a friend of mine was recently in Toronto, and Reed took him on a tour of whatever it is, the Rogers Centre now. And this friend came home and said, Reed knows everybody in the building. They all know Reed. Hi, Sammy, how are the kids? And I thought, oh my God, like that's a gift because I can't remember anybody's name.
Right.
You know, and they are very good to me. I wish I saw more of both of them.
Yeah.
You know, I have Alex here, and boy, when she's needed, you want Alex on your team.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, Reed will fly out at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they both made great spousal decisions.
Yeah.
And they all have really terrific kids. But if I talk about them too much, you see, I'll start to cry. But they're amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
No, baby, don't you?
Stevie, I can't thank you enough. Again, I could go on, and just as far as your legendary status, just you as a woman, empowering women in my life, the women I'm friends with. You've got such a beautiful family, and as you are living and thriving in life, you're not slowing down. And I just think your foot is on the gas, like you're just still living it. And I think like that is a testament and a gift. So thanks for sharing today.
You got it.
And scene.
How was that, Stevie? Did you have fun?
Oh, that was good. Well, you're so...
And that's a wrap on today's episode of ILO on Location, the podcast. Thank you all for listening and tuning in as I sit down with my fantastic guest of honor. And of course, thank you to my amazing, talented musician nephew, Connor Wilkinson, aka Passion Mango, for providing all of the music for ILO on Location, the podcast. Of course, you can follow Passion Mango and listen to Passion Mango on all of your social media platforms and all of your music streaming platforms. They are A-list. We'll be back for more episodes all season long. Season 4, ready for more.